Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday, April 12th. Happy Hump Day. My name is Alan. I want to welcome you to my Spiritual Growth Through Recovery podcast. Purpose of these videos is to grow my spirituality by following the AA program of recovery. And I do that by being honest, vulnerable, and accountable, which is why I make the videos. I'm no expert in AA or spirituality or recovery, just sharing my experiences. I'm trying to live life on life terms sober. The recipe we follow here is we read the daily, reading out of the AA Daily Reflections book. I'll share what stood out to me from that reading, and then we'll maybe add another topic at the end, something else that I'm experiencing through my recovery. So let's get busy. All right, so the topic for today is giving up insanity and self-reliance with respect to the seventh step. All right, April 12th, giving up insanity. Where alcohol has been involved, we have been strangely insane. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 38. Alcoholism required me to drink, whether I wanted to or not. Insanity dominated my life and was the essence of my disease. It robbed me of the freedom of choice over drinking and, therefore, robbed me of all other choices. When I drank, I was unable to make effective choices in any part of my life, and life became unmanageable. I ask God to help me understand and accept the full meaning of the disease of alcoholism. Pretty straightforward, huh? When I drink, I'm nuts. My rationale and my perspective is totally off. So what stood out to me was where alcohol had been involved, we have been strangely insane. So get back to definitions. What does strange mean? Right. So the definition I found was unusual or surprising in a way that is unsettling or hard to understand. What the heck? That's unexpected. Not didn't quite feel right. What does insane mean? And this kind of surprised me. It wasn't as out there of a term as I expected. A state of mind which prevents normal perception, behaviors, or social interaction. So that's a lot more subtle than I thought it would be. Insane, just I'm seeing shit way that's not right, totally not right. And it made me think about when I'm in my using phase. My perspective on things is way off. I am definitely insane. Alcoholism required me to drink, whether I wanted to or not. Insanity dominated my life. Get back to that insane. I mean, every day everything's twisted. It's just not right. It became this vicious cycle of I'm a little off, so then I use, which then makes me more insane, which makes me want to use more, and I just get in this cycle where I'm just spiraling downhill. It robbed me of the freedom of choice over drinking, and therefore robbed me of all other choices. That was my choice. That dictated my day, right? At times I feel like it robbed me, but it became a point where I willingly surrendered those things for the drugs or alcohol that I sought. When I drank, I was unable to make effective choices in any part of my life. Even though I thought I was making good choices, I kind of kept things together just long enough. Yeah, they were not good choices at all. And I asked God to help me understand and accept the full meaning of the disease of alcoholism. Acceptance. I get back to this idea of acceptance and surrender, which I don't have. So we'll be talking about that in a different session. We'll talk about that later. That's what kind of jumped out to me there. The whole unmanageability part. I think of how often I think I got things under control and things are okay, and they're not. My best thinking got me here. I hear that a lot. So that's kind of what stood out to me. Now, I want to talk about, just kind of wrap up this step 7 stuff's really been hitting me hard. So what we've talked about so far in that 12 by 12 is part about humility, right? It's page 70 and 71 of the 12 by 12. Unless we develop much more of this precious quality that may be required just for sobriety, you have very little chance of becoming truly happy. All right, so are we really going to do what it takes just enough to squeak by? Solely by our own intelligence and labor, we have shaped our own destiny. It's that ego to think we've got this thing under control. Right? And never was there enough of what we thought we wanted. We kind of moved over to character. With the proper display of honesty and morality, we stand a better chance of getting what we really wanted. Ultimately, selfish. We're always wanting what we want. And it might be my favorite line of all of them. But whenever we had to choose between character and comfort, the character building was lost in the dust of our chase after what we thought was happiness. Us, driven, self-driven. So that kind of brings me to part of self-reliance. My sponsor's been kind of pounding this home about how I gotta surrender, I gotta let go of all control of all stuff. This lack of anchorage to any permanent values, this blindness to the true purpose of our lives, produced another bad result. For just so long as we were convinced that we could live exclusively by our own individual strength and intelligence, for just that long was a working faith in a higher power impossible. My need for control and manageability of everything is blocking my connection to my higher power. I'm my own worst enemy. Okay? As long as we place self-reliance first, a genuine reliance upon a higher power is out of the question. Do I want it or not? May I let go or not? It was only by repeated humiliations that we were forced to learn something about humility. It was only at the end of a long road marked by successive defeats and humiliations and the final crushing of our self-sufficiency that we began to feel humility as something more than a condition of groveling despair. It's a lot there. Long roads, successive defeats, humiliations, and crushing of our self-sufficiency. We had to be beaten down. And I wish I didn't have to be beaten down to that level. To seek humility other than being a last gasp for desperation. Because that's what gets you. I get beat down enough that, look, finally, I'm willing. And then once I get comfortable again, I take control back again. I guess the last thing here is to get completely away from our aversion to the idea of being humble, to gain a vision of humility as the avenue to true freedom, to be willing to work for humility as something to be desired, takes most of us a long, long time. It took me a long time to get here. It's going to take me a long time to change. I'm just seeing more and more of how I'm my own problem. And it's hard to watch yourself not change when you see those things. But I'm going to try to be patient, and I'm going to keep plugging away. And I want to encourage you to do the same. And thank you for watching. I want to encourage you how to look at how dependent are you on you? And are you your own worst enemy? Are you blocking relationships and spiritual experience, that kind of thing? So hope you have a great Wednesday, and I'll be back tomorrow. Peace.